Coming up on the Empowered Woman podcast.
And then as you have those cumulative successes stacked, by the time you read through your journal at the end and all of the wins that you've had, there are things you could have easily forgotten, but now it's shifted the way that you see yourself, the narrative that you have towards yourself, and that influences how you show up.
Welcome to the Empowered Woman podcast, the #1 show on visibility strategies for women entrepreneurs. If you want to get empowered to be seen, stand out on social media, stages, TV, and more to make an impact with your voice and business, you're in the right place. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marcia Spurk, and I'm your host, professional singer and visibility strategist. Welcome again, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so psyched to have a conversation with you. It's been a minute since our last catch up. So yeah, excited to see what's going on.
I know. I think you are one of my long time online mentors slash friends slash biz bestie slash all of the things. I've had you on the show before and there have been lots of shifts. So recently we reconnected and I was like, you know what? I need to have you on the show to talk about what you've been working on, which is amazing. And the other thing too is that you were the one and you are the reason why I joined the community Entreprenista, which I had Stephanie Carton on the show a few episodes ago when she got to share the community. And I always tell everyone when people ask me about the community and I say, you know what? I had a mentor that didn't strike me as like the sisterhood vibe when we first started working together. And then she started making these posts about this community and saying this community changed my life. And I was like, if she's saying this must be for real. So that's my Entreprenista story. Anyways, it's all about you today. So tell us who you are again and what you've been up to.
I'm so excited to share. And I'm also really glad to know that social media posts don't just go into the void. Like, you do a post on LinkedIn. I love this community. Did anybody hear it? There's some likes. Did it make a difference for anyone? So to know that there was a little bit of repetition, someone was like, she talks about this place Entreprenista all the time. Let's check it out. And again, I always love when we come on shows like this. And like, I'm not even talking about me. We're talking about Steph and the community. But yeah, sure. For those who are listening, I'm so happy to introduce myself. My name is Lisa Simone Richards. I'm based in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And Marta and I first connected maybe about 8 years ago or so when I was a publicist in a past life. Okay, so we're running on, 7 years now. So yeah, I spent my past life as a publicist for 20 years. 10 of those years I spent working in some of my favorite industries, whether it was beauty or fashion or fitness. And then I spent the last 10 years in PR as an independent publicist, as an entrepreneur. So I have had my own agencies. I have been a coach. I have been a consultant. But in 2024, it felt different. I wasn't having as much fun anymore. I wasn't getting the results that I was used to getting. Quite frankly, the landscape had changed a ton when I got into PR back in like the early 2000s. There were still advertisers and I had magazine subscriptions and I had cable. There was no such thing as influencers. That word didn't exist. And then the landscape's changed to social media and influencers and content creation and affiliate links. And, I always like to be really honest. We try and make our lives look so shiny as entrepreneurs, but the truth is, like, some publicists had an incredible pivot and they're still doing fantastically, and I just wasn't having the same success. So I'd already had the idea that I wanted to do something different, and my husband and I were in our local bookstore. It's called Indigo. They're a national chain across Canada. So our local one is here at the Mall Sherway Gardens. And I was looking at a wall of guided journals, thinking about, like, is there anything in the area of business that's going to help me, inspire me with what my next idea could be? And everything that I saw was either very tactical, and I'm a super tactical person. I'm very type A. Do this marketing plan. What's your strategy? How are you going to analyze results? But it really wasn't what I was looking for. And on the other hand, what I was finding was very how would you like to feel as you build your business? And I love me a crystal and everything, but that wasn't the vibe I was going for either. And that's when I was kind of having a moment of, I think there's an opportunity here to do something different. So fast forward 1 month. So we're going into October of 2024 now. That moment happened back in September. And I was standing on stage at a Women Entrepreneurs event, and I was giving a talk to this room of 150 female founders about how to get visibility in their businesses. And when I came off stage, I got rounds of applause. It was posted on Instagram. People said I did such a great job. But what nobody knew is on the inside, I felt like the biggest fraud. I was, like I said, struggling to get visibility for myself, for my clients. Who am I to be on stage telling these women how to be able to get visibility for themselves, despite having a really solid 20-year track record? I was in a slumpy moment, but it just weighed on me. Who am I to be doing this? And so fast forwarding, I found a study from KPMG in 2020 that said that 75% of women leaders experience imposter syndrome at some point in their careers. And that made me realize I wasn't alone in the way that I felt. And the more I talked to women, I heard that story of who am I to do this? Are people going to find out? I realized it was something that really plagues a lot of women entrepreneurs. So that inspired me to create my stationery company, which is called Pearl Spark Pages. And we provide women entrepreneurs with a daily dose of self-confidence. Right now, we have our hero product, which is the Female Founders Journal, which is the only guided journal for women entrepreneurs that's therapist approved. And it's designed to help you push past imposter syndrome, celebrate your wins big and small, and build confidence from the inside out. So I have literally thrown away a 20-year career, started in product. It's been a really fun year and a half or so of learning how to create a product, get it into the world. We're just about done our first round of units, so we're about to order some more inventory, and I'm having a lot of fun. And it's so cool to see the impact that we're making and the shift that women are seeing in themselves after going through this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. I love the story because I followed some of it. I know some of it have been, it's been cool to see the journey of the inception of the whole thing and then your launch. I wanted to talk about two different things and you pick which one to go first. The journey of the Kickstarter campaign and launching the whole thing, and also the journey of creating the actual product and getting feedback from people. Because I was one of the people that you messaged and you were like, can you take a look at this? Go through the process. Tell me what you think. And how is it different? Because you said whatever was in the market was not the right combination of what you were looking for. So as a good old entrepreneur, you created something that met those different needs all at once. So choose the direction and let's go.
I have a lot of fun talking about the Kickstarter campaign because I think there are a lot of maybe product-based entrepreneurs who aren't aware that this avenue was an option. Like I had heard the term Kickstarter before, and I remember when my stationery mentor mentioned it to me, she was like, why don't you do a Kickstarter? I'm like, what? That sounds weird. But it was fantastic. And it was so cool to bring the community on the ride. So for those of the listeners who aren't familiar with a Kickstarter campaign, it is essentially a crowdfunding campaign. So you can promote to your community or audience, hey, I'm thinking about creating this product. I'm creating money in advance to pay for the creation of the product. So you can buy it now at the lowest price, that it's ever going to be. But people also understand this is an Amazon. It's going to take 4 months, maybe a little longer to get the product. You just say that in the campaign and you're just upfront about it. So yeah, we did a fundraising campaign on Kickstarter. And I think something that's interesting for people to know, which differentiates Kickstarter from other crowdfunding platforms, is that with Kickstarter, you have to hit your goal 100% to unlock the funds and actually get them released. So nobody gets charged until that campaign closes. Wow. If you hit 99%, they're like, that was super cute. Thanks for trying. Bye. And no one gets charged. You get no money. However, if you do use some of the other crowdfunding platforms, they will release what you have raised to you. For me, I'm kind of an all or nothing person, so I like the challenge. So long story short, we did a 30-day campaign. It was a real nail biter. Day one, we were 34% funded. And I was like, okay, that's good. I'm such a type A overachiever. I was really hoping to be 100% funded in hour one. Can you tell why I created this product? I needed it for myself to slow down a little and be like, Lisa, you're doing a good job. Stop killing yourself for not being at 100 on day one. But in any event, we hit, I think I said 34% on day one. We hit 50% funded on day two. So I was like, oh God, we got this. This is going to be great. We're going to close tomorrow. No, man, we were hovering for weeks and weeks. And I think we were 1 week out from finishing when we were still around the 70% mark. And I was like, okay, the numbers aren't the math isn't mathing based on how much we grow by day. We're not going to hit 100%. But just about, I think it was maybe 5 days before the campaign ended, we had a few bulk orders come through. I remember being at the hairdresser when my husband sent me the screen grab of congratulations, you hit 100%. And I was like, yes, crying in the chair while I was getting my hair wash. finished. The lady was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "They're good tears. I promise everything's fine." So that was a fun success. And it was really cool to bring people along on the journey with me. I think that was the interesting part. Like, you can pop up one day and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's a product. Buy it now." But I was sharing with people, okay, hey, I'm walking away from PR. We're going to try this thing out. What colors do you like? These are the logos I'm looking at. And, by the time we got to the fundraising campaign, people were invested and they did want to see it succeed. And I would wake up so many mornings and see a post on LinkedIn or Instagram about the Kickstarter campaign. I was like, I didn't do that, but those were other women, many of them from the Entreprenista League, cheering me on and just wanting to make sure that other networks knew about it and get me that amplification. So that was a really interesting process to go through. I'm very glad it had a happy ending.
Oh my gosh, what a journey. And thank you so much for sharing for people out there that may not be aware of it and also the differences between the platforms. Tell me more about having your husband join in and be a part of this entire process. Was that the idea from the get-go, or did he join in afterwards? How was that?
Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you like to be my next guest on the Empowered Woman podcast? Do you have a story you'd like to share? Want more visibility for your business on a show ranked in the top 0.5% in the world? Well, then head on over to martasburke.com/podcast guest for more information.
That's been really fun. So I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years and my husband has a full-time job. He's never done entrepreneurship before, but I thought it could be a fun venture to do together. And especially because, as I'm learning more about being a founder, it's important to bring people in who are strong where you are. I don't want to say weak, but quite frankly, less strong. So he's really great with operations. He's great with finances. I know what the vision is. I know who the audience is. I know the difference I want for us to be able to make. I have the relationships. So like I have my lane, he has his lane, and I think it works out pretty nicely.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's a fun partnership with very different roles.
Yeah, for sure. We have our fourth in-store appearance at, this is kind of a fun full circle moment. So I had shared in September of 2024 how my husband and I were in Indigo, our local bookstore, looking at that wall of guided journals. This coming weekend is our third in-store appearance as authors at that very same Indigo, which is so cool that people come by and purchase journals and we get to sign them and have conversations. So what a full circle moment to have, it's casual now. It's our third one. But he'll come to me with those and be a part of the event, which is super awesome as well. Sometimes people are like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "It's my co-founder. I know it's a company for women, but he's supporting his women." So that's awesome.
That is awesome. I love that so much. Tell us about the main differences that you notice coming from a service-based business to being a product-based business right now, whether it be, in how you handle the business, your work schedule. What comes to mind? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, definitely with a product-based business, one of the big things to keep in mind is the timeline. Like I'm a person who, when I have an idea, I run quickly, I execute, we're done and over, we move on with our lives. I really should slow down and enjoy the journey more, but I'm such a destination girl. I had shared idea for the journal was in September. October was that line in the sand moment where I was like, okay, we're going to do this. I had a prototype in hand by January. Like I had already created the materials, found a manufacturer, sent it over, had a designer, had it shipped over. Like we ran quickly. So one of the things to actually really have to make peace with and understand in product is that things don't move as quickly as you would love for it to. So we have an overseas manufacturer that we work with. We have to give them lead time to be able to print in bulk. We also need time for those materials to make it over here. So there's shipping by air, which is hugely expensive, versus shipping by ocean. So I remember when we did our Kickstarter campaign, because we really wanted to get our Kickstarter purchasers journals in hand by a specific timeline, we actually shipped some of them by air, which was just like awful for our profit margins, but we wanted to make people happy and we were good with doing it. So now it's like, okay, let's plan enough in advance that we can make sure that it has plenty of time to get here. The holidays are coming up, Black Friday. How much earlier do we need to make sure we have that inventory in hand? So remembering that I can't just reach out to a manufacturer and be like, I had this idea, print it tomorrow. He'll be like, you know how many jobs are in the queue ahead of you? So I think just that's been a really, really big learning for me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. It's such a different world from thinking, I'm going to create an offer and I just create a link on my website. You can pay for it and schedule a time to meet with me, right? When you think coaching, it's just very, very different. So many other variables and factors and people that you're working with in the timeline. So that's a good distinction there. So tell us more about the actual journal. should be looking into this? Who is this a good tool for? Tell us the name again and where people can find it.
Gladly. Thank you. Called the Female Founders Journal. Like I mentioned, it is the only therapist-approved guided journal specifically for women entrepreneurs. So this is designed for women who are starting a business, who might be scaling a business, or even if they're selling a business. The reason is because no matter what stage you're in, you're always going to hit your next limit. We're always doing something that we haven't done before. We're always hitting our next edge. So no matter what if you're somebody who has experienced imposter syndrome, it's going to possibly come back up and you want to be able to navigate that proactively. So the way that I've designed the journal, I know that women entrepreneurs are busy. We don't necessarily have all day. And when I was putting this together, I would look at a blank page and feel like, I don't know what to put down here. So the way the journal is designed from Monday to Friday, at the beginning of every day, it's consistent that you start with my vision is. It's so easy to get reactive in the day-to-day tasks of what needs to be done, and we get lost in why are we doing this? What is the purpose? So every single morning I sit down with my North Star and remember, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is what my ultimate goal is. And that helps me stay locked in and focused on my vision. So that's a staple from morning to morning. One thing I notice at other guided journals on the market, and I use other guided journals to be perfectly clear, they all have their purpose. But I found some of them they are intentionally repetitive. They're designed to have your brain pick up certain patterns on repeat. I wanted something that would challenge me a little bit more and would have me think in different ways versus looking at the same prompt every single day. So in collaboration with a therapist, we developed 180 different prompts throughout the journal, and we created 2 different frameworks. So in the morning, there are prompts that are specifically designed to help you create confidence. So those fall under the Bragg's framework. And then as you go into your day, you're thinking about those moments where you had confidence, where you've had success, where you were really proud of yourself, and it helps you to move differently. Your shoulders a little higher, your back's a little bit straighter because you remember those winning moments. And so you'll have a different prompt every single day that helps you feel a little confident moving into the day. And then in the evening, you come back to your journal before you close up your work day. After the evening prompts follow my framework that's called Pearl, and this is more reflective, helping you reflect on your wins, what you may have learned, opportunities. And then at the end of every Monday through Friday prompt, there's today I'm proud of myself for. I'm somebody who's always like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? Okay, you did this thing, but there's the next thing. And we don't necessarily look back and remember the things that we've done. So I wanted women to have an opportunity to celebrate the things they've done, big or small. If you cross 9 things out of 10 off your to-do list, that's incredible. I'm the kind of person who only sees the one I didn't do. So I wanted to flip that perspective. So that's how the daily journal works. You've got those 2 quick ones in the morning, 2 quick ones in the evening. And I wanted it to be something that's also very reflective. It's not about your next goal or your next milestone. It's not just about writing in pages and getting on with your day. At the end of the week, there's an opportunity to reflect on your top 3 wins of the week. At the end of 30, 60, and 90 days, you actually go back through the previous pages and say what limiting beliefs you've released, what wins you've had. And then as you have those cumulative successes stacked, by the time you read through your journal at the end and all of the wins that you've had, there are things you could have easily forgotten, but now it's shifted the way that you see yourself, the narrative that you have towards yourself, and that influences how you show up. When you feel more confident, you do bigger things, you take on bigger challenges. So that's what the purpose is, so that women can really shift that narrative in their heads, because I think a lot of the time the world sees us as so confident because we're doing these things that a lot of people don't do, but inside our heads, it's a bit of a different story.
Oh my gosh, you said it all. That is so, so true. And for people wanting to order it, where did they go?
So our company is called Pearl Spark Pages. Fun story. Pearl stands for passionate, empowered, ambitious, resilient leader, because that's what I think all women entrepreneurs are. We go through some stuff to make it through to the other side. So you can head to our website at pearlsparkpages.com, and that's where you can purchase the journal.
Amazing. I'll make sure and add that to the show notes. And before you tell people how they can connect with you personally as well, I love asking all of my guests my $1 million question. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Lisa, what is an empowered woman to you? I think you already said it in many ways, but tell me again.
Define her. The word that's coming up for me right now is unapologetic. I think unapologetic is coming up for me also because I read Cassie Williamson's book by the same name. She's in the Entreprenista League. And I'm also just on Tuesday of this week, Emma Greed's book came out. She is my absolute business crush. For those who don't know, Emma Greed is the CEO of both Good American and Skims. And I'm just in the process of reading her book, Start With Yourself, which is every page I'm like, yes, yes, so much. Yes, I see myself in there. And I think it's because she owns who she is. She doesn't apologize for it. Yes, this is what I believe. Okay, you don't believe with it. I live my way in a life that's different from the way that you live yours, whatever. And I just love that she's just creating space because like as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, you say so many things that I just don't say out loud, but I do think them. Yeah. And it's giving me a little more confidence with like, you know what, it's okay to own your position. And I said as a publicist, it's better to be rum raisin than vanilla. Like vanilla's bland, people forget it. I love rum raisin, like most people don't, but like there's nothing else I go to Baskin Robbins for. Like it is my ride or die flavor. So I know it knows who it's for and who it's not for. And it's reminding me to step a little bit more into that.
Oh my gosh, I love that. The empowered woman is rum raisin. That is so good.
It's always hiding in the back, but it's my favorite flavor.
I know, I like it too. That's so cool. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. Congratulations on all your success. Tell us how people can connect with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow my adventures on Instagram at Pearl Spark Pages, and you can see a little bit of the behind the scenes of what it's like to build this business and where we're taking it. And we have an inner circle list where we'll like ask people for their feedback on swatches and stuff behind the scenes to help us with our next product iterations.
I love that. I'm on the email list and I get your notifications and I follow the stuff. I love the branding, the colors, everything's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I love that.
And excited for you.
I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope this episode empowered you. And if you enjoyed the show, please join the Empowered Woman community on Facebook and share with friends or leave a review on iTunes so more people can discover this empowering message. Until next time, bye.